Well, you have a lot of different options for learning in the skilled trades and in a number of different technical areas at Oakland School's technical campuses. And one of the great instructors they have there is now an award winning instructor. Joining us now on the program is Juwan Willis, automotive instructor at Oakland School's technical campus Northeast and the winner of the 2022 Byrl Shoemaker ASE Education Foundation Instructor of the Year. Juwan, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So first, if you could just give us a little bit of information on your professional background, what ultimately has led you to where you're at right now, teaching others in our local area who are excited about working in the automotive industry, about the ins and outs of working in this historic industry here in our state.
Well, my transition into teaching started from one being from extreme poverty and not following the traditional high school path of being there every day. So I went to an alternative school. I was working at McDonald's. A counselor said that if I didn't show up every day, she was going to cost me my job, which was working later in the evening for an extra 50 cents per hour. From extreme poverty, that meant something. I went from not liking her to her communicating with me every single day to make sure I was there, and then finding out who Juwan Willis was, found out I was interested in auto, and she directed me to start my transition into a career pathway in auto. So then that was going into being a lube technician, through a technician, through a master technician, through service manager, through working for General Motors Tech Assist and Chrysler, to seeing an extreme need and making the decision to start working with 11th and 12th graders at the secondary level for some fundamentals that I felt were missing, and that got me here. And I don't regret it, and I'm staying here for the next 30 years, 20 years, however long I can stay.
And it's such an amazing story to hear someone triumph and go into something that they're interested in, and then not only thrive in that area of their life, but also passing that on to the next generation. So for you, Jawan, given that mentorship that you experienced was so critical to you being able to follow this path that you then went on and into the automotive industry, how does that inform your teaching style, your teaching philosophy, and those interactions you have with those 11th and 12th graders you're teaching at Oakland School's technical campus?
So my philosophy can kind of be wrapped up into a couple of things that they get so used to hearing me say. And one is, to get more, you must do more. And I usually phrase it like, why should you do more? Well, if you want more, you got to get more. And then the other is a focus on doing what was done for me, meeting every one of my students where they are, not where I want them to be, not where somebody wishes they are, but meeting every student where they are, because that was the only thing that worked for me.
And as you continue to teach them, part of what goes into the education at Oakland School's technical campus in automotive and other technical areas across the board at all their campuses is also providing those industry partnerships too. How much of an element does that play? What type of industry partnerships are established through these kinds of programs, and how much of an encouragement do you have for your students to use these resources that are there for them through this school to not only advance their learning, but also eventually advance their careers if they're so interested in these different fields?
Um, so when it comes to our industry adjacent partnerships for these students, so we have a work-based learning. CT has work-based learning, especially here in Michigan, but we kind of lean heavy off into it. So we partner in with. I'm lucky enough to be able to speak multiple different languages because I was 22 years in the industry before coming teaching. So I still have a big group of dealership partners that there's a need there for students. So they have internships for working under master technicians coming in multiple different ways. And we do that across the county, across the state. Um, but our industry partners are kind of hungry for new talent because of the big age group or the big age gap between current experienced technicians and new entering the industry. So students actually have, they come in and just do the best that they possibly can. They have so many opportunities to get into independent shops, dealerships, even some places that have engineers that are mentoring. There's quite a few opportunities, and I'm going to stick with automotive, but we have, of course, the other programs as well.
We're joined by Juwan Willis, automotive instructor at Oakland School's Technical Campus Northeast on today's edition of the Megacast. Of course, as we mentioned, you were one of 52 automotive professionals that were recognized at the Fall Board of Governors meeting, receiving the 2022 Byrl Shoemaker ASE Education Foundation Instructor of the Year. That's from the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. Knowing the effort that you put into teaching and to making these connections with these students who are interested in these particular areas and interested in your CTE program. How does it feel for you to receive this recognition from a national organization for the hard work that you've put in and those relationships that you've built educating these students?
I can sum everything up for that into one word: validation. Coming to secondary and bringing industry principals and post-secondary college level principals in front of 11th and 12th graders, there's a question about whether that age group can perform at that level. So the 10 years I've been here, um, we've been pushing the envelope here at Oakland, Oakland schools to expose them to as much as they can handle. So it's kind of the validation that, it's working, and then um, trying to perform as close to Phil Jackson as possible, creating a couple of Michael Jordans, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, so on, and then making that contagious to where other instructors, other programs, other counties are kind of adopting some of the things that have been proven successful for this age group. So that validation is kind of that's all that always repeats in my mind since being informed of this award.
Going into a program like this, into something like the CTE program, having these opportunities to learn from people that have been in this industry and have found their own path and to build these connections too with industry adjacent partnerships, as you said. What advice do you have then for students as well as their parents if they're interested in a CTE program like this? For themselves or for their child, in terms of what they need to prepare themselves for in this program and how to best take advantage of all these different opportunities that are in front of them.
So I'll start kind of in the middle or so. So most technicians um, may drive 20 minutes to an hour to work. So in a career path associated with automotive, the technician or the student in this case must be intrinsically motivated. So my advice would be to allow the student to get exposure. Come into the program that you're interested in. Come in, visit a couple of times, get familiar with the instructor. Pull over to the side and talk to some students that'll give you the background information so that you can make an informed choice after you go through a couple of programs, see which one you want. And then for the parents, um, even if you want your student to be a doctor and they say they want to be a chef, they may cost us a lot of money going down the educational pathway to be a doctor and still become a chef. So for us parents, we have to do that difficult thing of supporting the choices that our students are willing to commit to. But it's that exposure for the students so that they have, so they know what they're getting into and they can commit to it.
Joined on the program today by Juwan Willis, an automotive instructor at Oakland School's Technical Campus Northeast. You can learn more information by visiting Oakland School's Technical Campus's website. That is ostconline.com, ostconline.com, to learn more information about the CTE program and more through Oakland School's technical campuses. They have campuses all throughout the Oakland County area, 4 campuses in total: Northeast, Northwest, Southeast, and Southwest. Again, all their information, ostconline.com. Juwan, a couple more minutes with you before we'll need to say goodbye today. Anything else that we haven't discussed that you'd like to say, or other things you'd like to say to the community at this time?
Well, I guess I always like to get my quotes out for one. One of the quotes that I kind of walk by, teach by, coach by, mentor by is um, um, to have the fruit, or to get the one that will have the fruit must climb the tree. One of the Thomas Fullers, and then the one that I came up with, which is it takes a waterfall of experience and strong guidance to um, kind of mess up my own quote all the time because I always want to change it every time. Um, I'm takes a waterfall of experience through strong guidance to mentor a technician. Um, but those are pretty much the quotes, and I still messed up my quote here. But the income level, I would like to communicate about the income level for technicians that are coming out, because we have some students that come out in 1 month after graduation. They're making $26 an hour on their own because they spent a year doing that internship and that mentorship through our work-based learning. That's that industry piece connection, how it helps a student that's interested in a career in automotive spend a year to a year and a half while they're in high school working under a qualified professional, and actually are able to put on their portfolio a full year or more, plus the additional year that they would get for the 2 years in the program, that qualifies them to be ASE certified technicians, service advisors, parts counter people at graduation or within 3 to 6 months after, and literally are able to purchase their own homes and so on within a year of graduation, gain enough articulation credit for an associate's degree within a year after graduation. So some of those things are the high points of this pathway that I have to get out because, again, why should I do this extra unless I'm going to get more?
Well, Juwan, we appreciate you joining us, and congratulations on your national recognition, you as well as 51 other instructors like yourself across the U.S. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.